sixth virtual member network meeting. Thank you all for coming. I know that there was definitely some miscommunications throughout the week that may have made it challenging to get here, but you made it, so, and I do appreciate it. My name is Todd Bauk. I'm the Associate Director for Operations at Portland State University, in case you didn't know who I was. And for today and tomorrow, I'm your member network representative. So there will be a changing of the guard that we will get to here in a little bit. I've been referring to this year as the year that has the asterisk associated with it. And, you know, everyone will always remember that COVID-19 was here this year. But this is our effort to kind of lean back on the fact that it doesn't define the entire year. There was a lot of things that happened before it got here, and it's super important, especially now, to remember those and to celebrate those. So thank you all for making it to the call again. I'm going to share my screen, so I'll be disappearing here, and we'll get on with the presentation. A lot of the presentation is along the lines of celebration. We're going to have a few little businessy type things, but most of it is just going to be recognizing what people have accomplished. So hopefully you're at the right place with the opening slide here. I've already introduced myself. Also, the person you're going to meet here in a little bit is Zach Wallace. He's the student representative and for the member network. And if you're new to the to NIRSA, I know there's a chat feature that isn't popping up on my screen right now, but feel free in the chat throughout this to make comments or whatever it is, or encourage people or congratulate people. But also at this moment, if you haven't been, oh wow, how do you do that? If you haven't been to a NIRSA function before, the member network, just real briefly, the purpose of the member network is to connect you to the NIRSA Association and the NIRSA Association to you. So Zach's and my primary work and function throughout our terms have been to interact with people and keep the Region 6 functions moving forward. So yeah. Oops, let's see here. There we go. So some of the things that we wanted to talk about is just briefly this is a little bit of business, but also a little bit of celebration. So our members have been super active in the region. As of, these are the numbers as of the beginning of April. So member institutions, individual professional members, as well as individual student members. You can see that we've grown over the past year in two of those areas. In one area, we significantly shrunk. I did not take the time to get to the bottom of that number, but my suspicions is that it is closely linked to conference attendance. And without a conference, we probably lost a lot of student members. So, but yeah, the other two lines are super successful, and we fully expect the next one to bounce back as well. This slide, if you guys are seeing state workshop attendees like I'm seeing, should be a hidden slide, and I'm not certain why it's popping up. We don't collect those numbers if it is popping up in your region, so I'm pretty certain I hid that slide, but it's showing up on my screen, so I apologize. Come on. There we go. So Region 6, our impact in the association. These are just some quick numbers. There's 3 different boards within NIRSA, and we have 7 members on the variety of those boards. We have 2 people on our assembly, on the NIRSA assembly, councils and task force and commissions. We've got volunteers there, as well as a good number of volunteers on committees and work teams throughout NIRSA as an association. I want to recognize the state leaders, both the state directors as well as the student leaders. So big thanks go out to Julie and Trish and Peyton and Andrew and Amber and Alvin and Brent Harrison. You are right in front of the other name in Southern California, so I can't see it. Brent's photo is on my screen. And then Kirsten and Haley and Tim and Paul and Lauren and Mike and Carson and Ryan and Tyrell and Julia and Brandon and Ashley and Spencer and Sierra. So, you know, as member network representatives and student leaders, we wouldn't be able to do the work that we do without the support of the state directors and the insight of the state directors. They give us a lot of things to think about as we move forward. And I'll also say that a lot of these people are rotating off. Their terms are coming to an end. Some may be standing for a re-election again in their state, but so definitely want to give a round of applause to those folks. So let's see here, next slide. Like I alluded to earlier, Allie and Adam are going to be stepping into the roles of the member network representative and member network student leader for Region 6, student representative for Region 6. So definitely want to wish them well. And Allie and I have been in all sorts of conversations that we'll probably get to on the next slide, but we're getting them, and Zach is working with Adam to get them all up and going and ready to take over. So the 2020 Region 6 conference, scheduled to be in Spokane in the fall. Allie and I have been in a lot of conversations, as me as the outgoing representative and her as the incoming representative. We all know that we are in an environment that is being dictated by the COVID-19. So we're trying to figure out what it is that is going to take place with the Region 6 conference. We've been in conversations with headquarters, we've been in conversations with the state directors, we've been in conversations with the Region 6 Finance Committee. You may have heard that other regions across the association have canceled their regional conferences, and we haven't. So, and that is because primarily that our timeline is a little bit more relaxed. Decision timeline is a little more relaxed than a lot of the other regions are. So we are going to use that allotted amount of time with the host site to evaluate the 2020 regional conference and the effect that COVID-19 is having on it. Fortunately, the host committee is being very patient with this, and we definitely appreciate that, as well as all the hard work that they've already put into it. As decisions are made, you will be some of the first people to hear about those decisions as they unfold here in the next month or so. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Zach for scholarships and awards.
All right. Hello, everyone. Sad we couldn't be doing this in Phoenix, but we're here now. I'm in Delaware, actually, so it's also 6 o'clock here. So 5 o'clock is already passed here, unfortunately. We're going to get into some scholarships and awards and get some recognition out there for the people who have done some awesome things. All right, so start off our J. Michael Dunn pre-conference scholarship recipients. Theron from University of Oregon, Nathaniel from University of Arizona, Joanna from Cal State San Bernardino, Emily Nolette from Portland State, Diana Torres from Cal State San Bernardino, Dariella, I hope I pronounced that right, I'm sorry if I didn't, Gerardo Romero from UCLA, and Joseph Martin from Washington State. Everyone do a round of applause. Woo! And here we go with NIRSA Foundation scholarship recipients: Ethan Cobb from Arizona State and Dimitri Lahanas from Arizona State, Gabe Rendon from Cal State Sacramento, and Dariella again from UCLA. So the Region 6 scholarship recipients that we have: the professional scholarship recipient is Theron from University of Oregon. Student scholarship, Peyton, Haley, Amber, and Coco from Oregon, University of Oregon, Washington State, University of Pacific, and University of California, Santa Barbara. Ooh.
Zach, can you explain what's going on with those last two sets of scholarships?
Yes, so these scholarships are going to be able to be rolled into next year or into your dues. That's an option for you, and we'll get figured out. So whatever you choose, they can either be rolled into an event next year, or they can be used for your NIRSA dues.
And that was something that the foundation was fully instrumental in making happen. So it's awesome that we can still be able to access that in the year when we can actually use it.
And Janice made a good point in the chat here. Students it's just for conferences events next year. So good opportunity for them to get involved a little bit more when they couldn't do it as much this semester. Region 6 scholarships for the other scholarships in the region. We have Sarah with the Core Health and Fitness Travel Grant, Joseph with the Frederick R. Braden Scholarship for Social Justice in Collegiate Recreation, Alexandra for the Give to Grow Region 6 Scholarship, and Samantha with the Jeff Vesely Heritage Scholarship. Round of applause. If anyone remembers the coconut stretch we did at the Region 6 conference, we're not going to do it again because it was like a one-time thing, I think. We got to be in person for it. And our NIRSA Service Award, Amanda Demi from Seattle University for incredible vision and leadership in the NIRSA Championship Series Long-Term Vision Task Force. Thank you very much. And the Horace Moody Award recipient, honoring an outstanding professional who has made significant contributions to student development. Saw him and met him at the Region 6 conference and the student lead-on. First time I really spoke to him. One of the best hours of a NIRSA conference I've been to. Just the way he delivered all the material was great. Troy Vaughn from University of Arizona. And the William N. Wasson Student Leadership Award recipients are Malia, Emma, Marine, and Christina for being outstanding students who are actively involved in rec sports departments throughout the association. 3 of them from Seattle, and Christina is from University of California, Davis.
Go Ags.
All right, and then I'll hop back in here. Region 6 did also capture a number of Creative Excellence Awards. So Cal State Bakersfield, an audiovisual promotion, social media campaign, Bakersfield again, both second places, large scale signage, name that you've seen before in this presentation, Seattle University, and University of Arizona coming in as well with another repeat award. And then the integrated marketing, Seattle University pulling in again. So that shouldn't be in there either. I'm sorry, folks. All right. We've gotten to the part that people are sitting on the edge of their seat for. So the Regional Award of Merit, yes, presented by Janice, who was our recipient last year. Janice, take it away.
Okay, I will. So I am delighted to present this year's Regional Award of Merit. Next slide, please. For those of you that are new to Region 6, we do ours a little bit differently. If you are joining us from another region, we're gonna give you some information about the said awardee, and you can maybe guess, think about who it might be. Obviously this year it's very different because we're not sitting in a hotel in a rows of seats, so we can't just whisper to our friends, but we can use this lovely chat feature. So if you are thinking of who it might be, go ahead, add a name to the chat as we get going. Next slide, please. So this person grew up in Encino, California, which for those of us that didn't really know where that was in Southern California, it's in the San Fernando Valley near Los Angeles. They attended community college and then they transferred to University UNLV. And what's most fascinating about this person is they were beginning their college career as a business major, and then their lovely mother sat next to someone on the plane who was studying recreation. And she got off the plane and called this person and said, "Hey, I just sat next to this person with this great major, and I think it'll be perfect for you." Next slide. This is the person as a young child. Next slide. So again, going back to some clues, this person's worked in the field of recreation for 14 years. They have been a GA. They've been a director of recreation. Their current title is Executive Director, Campus Life. Interesting fact, their partner is also in student life. Next slide. So going back to their career beginnings at UNLV, they were playing intramurals and they said to the person officiating, "Hey, how do I get a job here?" By that Friday, they had a job officiating intramurals. Then they also got a position being a building manager. They were a GA at Sac State when there was one other full-time staff member. Some of us might have noticed that Ken was on the call. I believe that was the staff member when this person was a GA there. Next slide. One of our first quotes. So I got a lot of feedback from other people that have crossed paths with this person. So Vet tells us that as an undergrad, this building manager was always eager to take on extra responsibility and work hard to help their coworkers. I knew they would go on to do great things. Congrats, Hammer. That might have given it away for some of you that know that nickname. Next slide. Ken Morton again is on this call, but his quote, I'm gonna read it. "This person's professional at all times, making me wonder if they knew how to have fun. But alas, through our philosophy of work hard and play hard, I discovered they can have fun. They can supervise many areas at a time and did so with passion and perseverance." Next slide. Greg Jordan, who is also on this lovely call today, was the NIRSA president in 2005 through 6 when this person was a student regional representative. Greg says they might have zigzagged across the country after being a student, but they have not hesitated to volunteer and serve NIRSA. Next slide. Which is true because their student roles, as a student, they were on the SLT, but now they've also done the NSC, Student Professional Development Committee. They've been on the Policy and Legislation Committee. Next slide. They've been on the Foundation Scholarship Committee, the Assembly, the Conference Program Committee. So again, how's that chat looking? Have we figured it out yet? So more about this person. So their first real job did take them out of Region 6. They weren't out of Region 6 very long. It was 4 years. They were at University of Florida the whole time. They were a coordinator of intramurals, and then they developed this love of Best Buy. I believe that is where the partner was working, and this person would constantly need to go get stuff at Best Buy. So they developed a relationship and then they moved back to California. Next slide. So returned to Sac State after they had passed the referendum and knew that they were getting a new facility and growing their staff. This person left Sac State for the University of Pacific. Next slide. One of this person's GAs from their time at UOP says, they quickly calm my nerves. My first weeks as a GA with their easygoing nature, campus rec expertise, and conversations about burritos. So I guess during COVID 2 weeks ago, there was a conversation about said burritos again. This person, anytime they go to this burrito shop that is well loved by Kelly, they will text and say, hey, I'm getting a burrito. I don't think that's really fair, but so it is. Next slide. Currently, again, going back to how dedicated this person is for NIRSA, they currently serve NIRSA on the Small Programs Advisory Council, as well as nominations and appointments. I think the chat might be looking pretty good, maybe. So another quote from Rachel, who has served with this person on small programs. This person listens so carefully. They see the big picture. They genuinely care about all people. They want them to do well, regardless of the condition or circumstance. It is an honor to honor this human being. Next slide. Andy Lemons, who also works with this person on the Small Programs Advisory Council, has a zest to advance the profession, always thinking students first, unwavering commitment to ask challenging questions. And I believe this is my last quote from Andy Middleton. They serve together on nominations and appointments. A desire to advance the profession, students first, unwavering commitment to ask challenging questions, and professionalism. So, can I have a drum roll, please? We're gonna take you all off mute so that you can pretend that we're in that small conference room, all cramped, standing room only, typically for Region 6. And this year's winner is Falkenstein. And those of you that snuck drinks in, toast for Mark.
Hey, Mark. This is
Congrats, Mark.
wild.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, wait, so where,
Hey, Mark.
you know?
Congrats, Mark.
Okay. So I think we're gonna mute everybody and I'm gonna let Mark take over. Congratulations, Mark. This is when I would give you a big hug and a high five. And I'm bummed that we can't do that in person this year. I'm so delighted that you are this year's winner.
Thank you, Janice, and thank you, everyone. I'm so thankful for this, and I'm extremely honored to receive this award today. I really never would have thought that a simple conversation in October 2001 would lead to my lifelong passion, career, and now ultimately this recognition. One night in October, I just asked how I could get a job working in intramurals, and the rest is history, so to speak. Throughout my time in NIRSA, I've been so fortunate to have the support and the ability to serve in a variety of roles that Janice talked about. And I've been so grateful for all the support, guidance, and mentorship that I've received from my supervisors, my teams, the people I've worked with, and specifically, over the years, dating back to when I was at UNLV, Adam Leonard, at Sac State, Ken Morton, twice at the University of Florida, David Bowles, all the team members I had during my time at Sac State during my return. And while I've been at Pacific, my two supervisors, Lynn King and Allison Dumas, have been just so supportive in letting me pursue these opportunities and be able to give back. I've also had such amazing team members to work with throughout my time, both at the institutions I've worked at and also through my service with NIRSA. There's so many people that I'd like to recognize, but I don't want to keep everybody here for a couple hours. So I've trimmed my list down to just a few people. So I really want to thank Andrew Reddish, Caitlin Summers, Andy Lemons, and Greg Jordan. All of these people that I've mentioned can tell you some interesting stories about me and my time in NIRSA, including, I don't know, maybe a story about a shower curtain being used as a robe, late night conversations, solving the problem, NIRSA's future problems, while standing outside of a hotel room in Florida when it was in the 30s. I know it's a really interesting, concept of that much cold in the state of Florida, or just some interesting stories that I'm sure I've forgotten over the years. And lastly, I really want to take an opportunity to thank my family. They have always been supportive of all my involvements, dating back to when I was a student at UNLV working to my time as regional student leader, and then ultimately to today. I mean, as was shared by Janice, I met my wife at Best Buy in Florida. And, you know, without accepting this opportunity to work in this field, I don't know that I would have met her and have the family that I do today. And what makes today even more special to me is this award, as we have traditionally given out this award. But it's so much more special to me because my family is here with me. They're actually in the room with me right now as I receive this award with everyone. And so that has allowed it to, in these trying times, make it extremely special to me. I want to thank you all again for this honor. I am truly humbled to receive this award today. I wanted to close by saying that for those of you that remember, Cleveland 2003 was my first annual conference. And I distinctly remember sitting in the back of the room in the regional business meeting because as a junior, I didn't think it was my place to sit anywhere near the front of the room. But I remember sitting through the regional business meeting and learning about the Regional Award of Merit and thought maybe one day that could be me. Well, today's that day. I am so greatly humbled and honored to receive this award. I look forward to continuing to serve NIRSA, and I would encourage everyone on the call, whether you are attending your first NIRSA event or you have been doing this for a really long time and have started the countdown to retirement or are currently enjoying retirement, figure out how you can serve, because it's a great way to have an impact and a great way to provide support, leadership, and just grow. So thank you.
So a couple last minute things. There are a couple slides of Mark as well. The first one is with Greg Jordan as a student leader. And then there is a chat, Mark, that people want to see your family. So maybe after we go through these 6 slides, you can show us your family.
Stack State in the house.
I should have put the Best Buy logo on this one, but I chose not.
So I also have a funny story about the picture of when we were in Oregon with Greg Jordan. I wonder, Greg, do you remember what happened after we left the bowling alley?
Well, I think either you or I or Tom Kirch were almost arrested for running out on a bowling alley bill and food bill on behalf of NIRSA. And I'm pretty sure it was Kirch. They really came after Kirch.
That was correct. Well, let me see if I can draw my family in. Maddox, speak right. This is my son Maddox and my wife Laura. Laura, as Janice said, Laura works in student life at Sac State. She's one of their health educators. So it's a higher education is a family affair here. So can you say hi to everybody, Maddox? Or you can okay.
All right. Well, cool. Janice, is it back to me?
It is.
All right. All right. You know, of all the things of being quarantined in our house, one of the things that I really like is that you do get to see people's life. And, you know, whether it's somebody popping into the screen or it is somebody, you know, whatever it is that's on their wall behind them. So, yeah, I like that personally. So it brings more of our person to it. So that is pretty much it. I'm going to try to shut off my, there we go, screen. And I did want to give Allie a chance just to say hey and whatnot. You know, Friday is going to be her first day on the job. So Allie, you still out there?
Yeah, I am. Thank you all for electing me to serve our NIRSA in this way, and I'm super looking forward to the next 2 years, and really obviously going to rely especially on your state director's input, propelling us in the right direction when we get back to campuses and maybe a little bit of normalcy. So thank you.
A round of applause. That is it, folks.